The Awakening. The vast chamber of the Galactic Alliance Council hummed with the voices of 200 species. Light from 3 suns filtered through crystalline windows, casting rainbow patterns across the assembled delegates. At the center podium, Admiral Zexvera of the Arcturian Empire adjusted his ceremonial collar and continued his address. And so, esteemed delegates, our expansion into the Orion Arm continues without resistance. The primitive worlds there pose no threat to our technological superiority. His 6 eyes blinked in sequence as he gestured to a holographic display of the galaxy. Even the humans of Earth, who once showed promise, have retreated into obscurity. Our long-range scans indicate their planetary defenses are outdated, their space fleet rusting in orbit. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Earth was a curiosity, a footnote in galactic history. The bipedal creatures had burst onto the interstellar scene 3 centuries ago, making remarkable advances before suddenly withdrawing from all galactic affairs. Now they were little more than a joke among the more established species. Commander Vaxthor of the Exploration Fleet leaned forward in his seat, his scaled skin reflecting the chamber's light. Unlike his peers, he found the humans fascinating rather than amusing. Their abrupt disappearance from galactic politics had always struck him as suspicious rather than pathetic. "Admiral," Vaxthor called out, rising to his full height, "I volunteer to lead an assessment mission to the Sol system. If the humans are truly as diminished as we believe, perhaps it's time to bring their world under proper Alliance guidance." The chamber fell silent. Earth was technically a sovereign world, even if inactive in galactic affairs. But the resource-rich planet had long tempted many Alliance members. "Granted, Commander," the Admiral replied after a moment. "Take a small fleet. Assess and report, but do not engage unless provoked." 3 days later, Vaxthor stood on the bridge of the Starlight Venturer, his flagship leading a formation of 5 cruisers toward the edges of the Sol system. His second-in-command, a slender Phelan named Nivix, monitored the sensor array. "Commander, we're detecting automated warning beacons at the system's edge," Nivix reported. "Basic technology, broadcasting in multiple languages. They request identification and purpose." Vaxthor's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Interesting. Send our diplomatic codes and continue forward. Let's see how their system responds." The fleet glided past Neptune, then Uranus, encountering nothing but silence. The beacons had fallen quiet after their identification was sent. As they approached the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, Nivix suddenly straightened. "Commander, energy signature detected near Earth's moon. It's unusual." "Explain," Vaxthor demanded, moving to the holographic display. "It's like nothing in our database. The structure appears dormant but massive, possibly a space station of some kind. It's been hidden in the moon's shadow, but our proximity has triggered passage scans." Vaxthor studied the readout. The station was indeed enormous, shaped like a flattened sphere with extending arms that resembled a starfish. Its surface was dark, absorbing rather than reflecting light, which explained why long-range scans had missed it. "Fascinating," he whispered. "How could our intelligence miss something of this scale?" "Perhaps it's been there all along," Nivix suggested. "Just sleeping." As the fleet moved closer to Mars, a sudden pulse of energy washed over their ships. Alarms blared across the bridge. "We're being scanned," the tactical officer shouted. "Deep penetrating scans, unlike anything I've encountered." The massive station near Earth's moon had come alive. Lights flickered across its surface as ancient systems reactivated after decades of dormancy. On the fleet's communication channels, a voice spoke, smooth, deliberate, neither male nor female, but unmistakably human. "Unidentified fleet approaching Earth. You have entered protected space. State your intentions immediately." Vaxthor stepped forward. "This is Commander Vaxthor of the Galactic Alliance Exploration Fleet. We come on a diplomatic assessment mission." There was a pause. Then, "Scanning indicates weapon systems are active on all vessels." The Galactic Alliance has no diplomatic standing with Earth. Your approach vector suggests military formation rather than diplomatic convoy. We mean no harm, Vaxthor insisted. Standard protocol requires defensive readiness when approaching uncharted. Earth is not uncharted. The voice interrupted. Earth is a sovereign world that has chosen isolation. Your intelligence on our defenses is severely outdated, Commander. As if to emphasize this point, the station extended several appendages. Weapon ports opened along their length, revealing technology that made Vaxthor's blood run cold. Those weren't conventional energy weapons. They were gravitational disruptors, theoretical weapons his people had only begun to conceptualize. I suggest you maintain current position while we contact Earth's Defense Council, the station continued. Any further approach will be considered hostile. Vaxthor looked at his crew, seeing their unease. The Alliance intelligence had been catastrophically wrong. The humans hadn't regressed. They'd advanced in isolation, developing technologies the Alliance had barely theorized. Hold position, he ordered his fleet. Power down weapon systems. 12 tense minutes passed before the station spoke again. Commander Vaxthor, Earth Defense Council has authorized communication. Please prepare to receive Ambassador Chen. A holographic figure materialized on the bridge. A human woman, her dark hair streaked with silver, wearing a simple gray uniform without rank or insignia. Commander, she nodded. I am Ambassador Chen. Earth has maintained its isolation by choice, not weakness. The station you encountered, Sentinel-1, is merely one of our defensive outposts. Vaxthor struggled to maintain his composure. Ambassador, the Alliance believed Earth had withdrawn due to technological stagnation. We came to offer assistance. Chen's expression remained neutral. An interesting claim, considering your Admiral's speech to the Council 3 days ago. Yes, we monitor your communications, Commander. Vaxthor felt his scales tighten against his skin. They had been watching all along. Allow me to demonstrate why Earth chooses isolation rather than Alliance membership, Chen continued. She gestured, and the hologram expanded to show a small asteroid near Mars. The station emitted a barely visible pulse. When it reached the asteroid, the massive rock simply disappeared. Not exploded, not shattered. It ceased to exist, leaving not even dust behind. Spatial folding technology, Chen explained. We remove threats by relocating them to unpopulated regions of space. That asteroid now orbits a star 50 light-years away. The bridge fell silent. Such technology violated fundamental laws of physics as the Alliance understood them. During our isolation, humanity united and advanced, Chen continued. We watched the Alliance expand, often at the expense of younger species. We chose to develop differently. Vaxthor found his voice again. Why reveal yourselves now? You could have remained hidden. Chen's hologram smiled slightly. Because it's time for a conversation, Commander. Your mission has accidentally triggered what we've been preparing for. Earth's return to galactic affairs, but on our terms. The hologram expanded again, revealing hundreds of ships emerging from behind Earth's moon, from Mars' shadow, from what appeared to be dimensional pockets throughout the system. Earth's fleet hadn't rusted away. It had evolved beyond recognition. Return to your council, Commander, Chen said calmly. Tell them Earth is ready to talk, not as a supplicant, but as an equal. We will send representatives within the month. As the hologram faded, Vaxthor stared at the viewscreen showing Earth's armada. The Alliance had been wrong, catastrophically wrong, about humanity's decline. They hadn't retreated out of weakness. They had withdrawn to grow stronger, to evolve beyond the politics and limitations of the Alliance. And now they were back. The reckoning. The emergency session of the Galactic Alliance Council had been ongoing for 26 hours. Commander Vaxthor stood at the center of the chamber, his uniform still bearing the subtle scorch marks from his hasty return journey. The holographic evidence he'd brought back, showing Earth's advanced fleet and the demonstration of their spatial folding technology, played on a loop above the assembly. I cannot emphasize this enough. Vaxthor concluded, his voice hoarse from repeating the same warnings. The humans have not been dormant. They have been evolving technologically at a rate that defies our understanding. What we witnessed was not a bluff. It was a mere demonstration of capabilities they've developed in isolation. Admiral Zexvera, who had been unusually silent throughout the proceedings, finally rose from his seat. His ceremonial collar, normally pristine, hung askew. The implications are concerning, the Admiral admitted. If the humans possess technology that can simply remove objects from spacetime, what defense could we possibly mount? The chamber, normally filled with the confident voices of 200 species, remained uncomfortably quiet. For the first time in generations, the Alliance faced a power they could neither intimidate nor immediately understand. "They're sending representatives," Vaxthor reminded them. Ambassador Chen was clear. They wished to talk, not conquer. High Counselor Trivax, the eldest member of the governing body, leaned forward on gnarled limbs. And why should we believe them? A species that hides its true nature, that develops weapons in secret. A voice interrupted from the entrance of the chamber. Because if conquest was our goal, this conversation would not be happening. All eyes turned to see a delegation of humans entering the chamber. 7 figures in simple gray uniforms, led by Ambassador Chen herself. Unlike the hologram Vaxthor had met, the real Chen carried herself with an authority that seemed to compress the air around her. Behind her walked humans of varying ages and appearances, each moving with the same confident purpose. "Forgive our early arrival," Chen said, her voice carrying effortlessly. "We thought it best to address your concerns directly rather than allow fear to dictate policy." Admiral Zexvera recovered first. "You arrive unannounced, Ambassador, in a secure facility light years from your system. How did you even get here?" One of the humans, a young man with dark skin and eyes that seemed too old for his face, smiled slightly. "The same way we relocate asteroids, Admiral. Distance is more flexible than your sciences currently understand." The implication sent a ripple of unease through the chamber. If the humans could appear anywhere without warning, without ships. Chen raised a hand. "We come in peace and with respect for your proceedings. We simply request the opportunity to explain Earth's position and our intentions moving forward." The High Council, after a brief, tense discussion, granted permission. Chen took the central podium, and the holographic display above shifted to show images of Earth through the centuries. 300 years ago, humanity joined the galactic community with enthusiasm and hope. Chen began. "We were newcomers, eager to learn and share. But within decades, we observed patterns that troubled us. The display showed alliance expansion, resource extraction from developing worlds, cultural assimilation of younger species. The alliance operates on principles of strength," Chen continued. "Technological, military, economic strength determining a species' value and rights. We witnessed younger civilizations stripped of autonomy, their unique paths of development redirected to serve alliance interests." Several council members shifted uncomfortably. These were realities rarely discussed so openly. Humanity faced a choice: assimilate and become like you, or find another way. We chose isolation not from fear, but to preserve our autonomy of development, to grow according to our values, not alliance doctrine. The images shifted to show Earth's transformation: green technologies replacing industrial pollution, cities that merged with natural landscapes, and finally, the technological leaps that had allowed them to develop their current capabilities. "We needed time," Chen explained. "Time to unite our own world, to overcome our divisions, to develop technologies that aligned with our ethos of preservation rather than consumption." Vaxthor found himself nodding despite himself. As an explorer, he had sometimes questioned the Alliance's methods of expansion. "The defense station you encountered," Chen continued, looking directly at Vaxthor, "is called Sentinel. It was built not to attack, but to prevent intervention while we completed our transformation. We never abandoned our monitoring of galactic affairs. We simply chose not to participate until we could do so as equals. And now, Admiral Zex Vera asked, what do humans want from the alliance they so carefully avoided? Chen smiled, and it reached her eyes this time. Partnership, Admiral, but on equal terms. Humanity has developed technologies that solve problems the Alliance has struggled with for centuries. Clean energy production, non-destructive resource extraction, even the beginnings of dimensional engineering that allows for creation without consumption. She gestured, and one of her colleagues stepped forward, holding what appeared to be a simple crystalline cube. He placed it on the podium, and it projected detailed schematics for technologies beyond the Alliance's current understanding. These we offer freely, Chen said, not in exchange for membership or resources, but as a demonstration of what cooperation might achieve. The council chamber erupted in murmurs as species representatives leaned forward, eyes fixed on the technological bounty being offered without condition. But understand this, Chen's voice cut through the excitement, suddenly stern. Earth remains sovereign and self-determined. We will share, trade, and cooperate, but we will not be subjugated or directed. The time when humanity could be dismissed as primitive is over. The implications hung in the air. Earth was offering partnership, but would accept nothing less than full equality, a concept that challenged the Alliance's hierarchical structure at its foundation. High Counselor Trivax raised a hand. And if we refuse your terms, if we consider your hidden advancement a threat to galactic stability. Chen didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked at each council member in turn, her gaze level and calm. We hoped for wisdom rather than fear, she finally said. But if threatened, Earth will defend itself. The technology you witnessed is merely one application of principles we've developed. There are others. The implied warning was clear, yet delivered without aggression. Simply stated fact. To everyone's surprise, Commander Vaxthor stepped forward. Counselors, I have seen firsthand what Earth is capable of. They could have destroyed my fleet but chose dialogue instead. I believe Ambassador Chen speaks truthfully when she offers partnership. His words carried weight. Vaxthor's reputation for integrity was well established. After hours of tense negotiation, the Council reached a preliminary agreement. Earth would be recognized as a sovereign power outside Alliance hierarchy, but engaged in cooperative exchange. Human representatives would share specific technologies while maintaining independence. As the session concluded, Vaxthor approached Chen privately. You knew this would happen, he said quietly. Your return was planned. Chen nodded. The Alliance's expansion was reaching a critical point. Younger species were being absorbed at an unsustainable rate. Something had to change. And the display of power, the spatial folding technology. A regrettable necessity, Chen admitted. Some lessons require demonstration. But we chose a method that harmed no one. Vaxthor studied her face, searching for deception and finding none. Humanity has changed more than technologically, it seems. We had to, Chen replied simply. The technology was the easy part. Changing ourselves, our greed, our divisiveness, our fear of difference. That was the true evolution. As Chen rejoined her delegation, Vaxthor watched them depart, not through the chamber doors, but in a subtle shimmer of displaced air, there one moment and gone the next. A final, gentle reminder of the new reality. The Alliance had mocked Earth's perceived weakness, dismissing humans as primitive. Now they faced a species that had transcended not just technological limitations, but the very mindset that the Alliance had always equated with power. The galaxy had changed forever. And perhaps, Vaxthor thought, for the better.